And we have started working on space as well because while for India, our space sector has grown very organically since we got independent. UAE has been actually leapfrogging. They've already sent 2 astronauts in space,
Correct.
and they've made huge progress. So, sometime back, the first nano satellite of the UAE was actually launched by India. But I think there's so much of untapped potential in the space sector, which we are now trying to appreciate, especially because there's so much of private sector which has got into space in India. So we are now working with InSpace, for instance, and see how they can work with the UAE space agencies. But Polar is another area.
Yeah, by
So
the way, I was surprised in the Arctic Circle dialogue we hosted. Actually, they announced their polar initiative, in which one of the key features was a partnership with India.
absolutely. So we have our historical strengths in the polar space, but UAE also has so much interest in that we not only signed an MOU just a few months back, but I mean then that's the beauty of the relationship. The thing doesn't end with signing MOUs; it just moves ahead. So on the polar space, in the next Antarctica expedition, there will be 2 scientists from the UAE. So we see, these are new areas, but then these are happening areas.
Excellent.
Hello. Thank you for this. Why is nuclear so important? Is it because of the rise of AI and the energy required, or is there some more scientific collaboration going on? And how will the UAE help partner India, or India help partner in the energy exchange?
Well, nuclear is important because we all want clean energy. We want clean energy, cheap energy, sustainable energy. So that's a great source, not only for India, also for the UAE. And actually, if you look at IMEC, another very ambitious project, and IMEC is not just about sending containers, it's also about sending across clean energy, sending across data. So while on the one hand we are working on sending containers through a virtual trade corridor, we are also working on connecting our grids. In fact, we are very close to starting a feasibility study on a subsea cable through which we could transmit clean energy as well as data. So it is important in that sense.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, and I think the second part of the question was on the R&D cooperation, right? And how are we partnering on the technology development process around these, the SMRs or the future? Are we really looking at all of those? So answer is yes. I think SMRs and modular reactors are necessarily a ingredient of what we.
So if you look at President Trump's visit to the UAE just a couple of months back, one of the major announcements was investment in Holtec plant in Michigan. And there are so many other initiatives within the US working on SMRs. We also need nuclear energy. And India, by virtue of its size and the energy requirement, could actually make all these things very viable.
Thank you. Talking about the growing strategic partnership between the UAE and India and the fields of cooperation that you mentioned, how do you see the I2U2 initiative enhancing multilateral cooperation?
Well, of course, it's a great initiative. See, again, I'll talk about India and the UAE because what the churning which Samir mentioned in the beginning, that might pose challenges to to maintaining the momentum with which I2U2 started. But on the India UAE front, we spoke about food parks, setting up food parks. And again, as we speak, we are looking at setting up food parks by the UAE in Gujarat. We are working on that. We are also working on renewables, setting up something like actually 60 gigawatts of renewable power in Gujarat and in Rajasthan. So these two things are we are working on very actively.
So I think that's the interesting space. But I think we have to watch this space for more.
Yeah.
To answer your question, this is something that is evolving and obviously dynamic. Uh, but I think the logic of the partnership is very sound, and I think the opportunity to make value out of it is something that needs all actors to work in concert, and it's something that should not be left to chance. It has to be intentional act.
I have two questions. The first one is, as private investors, when we invest in India and the revenues are high, can we take out the money in dollars or not?
The clear answer is yes.
Sure, because I have so many people telling me yes, no, so I
that's
got confused.
That's not true.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not true.
Okay, great. What about data centers, Your Excellency?
Well, if you have the investment, the doors are open. We need data centers.
Okay. So can you provide lands?
So, so these are arrangements, these are commercial arrangements. So it's not that the government will provide you land to begin with. It's always good to enter into partnerships.
PPP. Can we do something like that, maybe?
You can arrange, you can enter into commercial partnerships with the Indian business persons
Okay.
and set up data centers. But definitely there's a lot of need for data centers.
Someone else? I think we can take maybe another couple of questions. Okay, I'm going to come to three questions. We'll come to three questions here. Let's start with you.
Your Excellency, my question, with bilateral relations between India and UAE at their peak, how do you see India leveraging and benefiting from the other 25 odd CEPAs UAE has signed with other countries? Do you think India can really benefit from them? Thank you.
So there are two parts of the question.
Two parts.
First part, I don't agree that our relationship at the peak.
Is starting.
It's yeah, absolutely. We don't know where the peak is. On the other part, definitely, this web of CEPAs which the UAE has signed could be a great advantage to India. If you look at the countries which they have signed, it's geographically dispersed from Colombia to Cambodia to Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand. If you look at the size of the economies, major economies like Indonesia, Turkey, Australia, and also important economies like Israel. So, what we can do is that to make UAE as a production base to make that substantial value addition which qualifies for CEPA exports to the other country. And that could add value not only to India but also to the UAE. And my conviction is that UAE provides some major advantages for manufacture, particularly say if there is something which is very energy intensive, UAE is the place. The kind of stable legal environment which businesses require, the predictability is exceptional. Also, if I look at it from an employment perspective, if there are 100 jobs generated, I'm sure a large chunk of jobs will come to Indians. So it helps us in so many ways.